If you're a non-native English speaking professional and you are wondering what opportunities you might be missing by skimping on details in your English language, then I'm here to help you with that. So I'm Kathleen, founder of English Without Kathleen Elise, and I help non-native English speaking professionals to speak like the professional who belongs in every room. So this week we're taking a look at details in a business, an English-based business setting, why they matter and the ramifications and the benefits of including them and making sure that you don't miss them. So when I talk about details, what I'm talking about, there's two sides to the coin here. There's the details about your ability to communicate clearly. So are you including all of the bits of grammar that you need? Are you putting the grammar in the right place? Are you pronouncing your sounds correctly? Are you condensing your sounds correctly? Are you speaking too fast, too slow? So there's all the details of the mechanics of it, of the speaking or the writing in English, but there's also the details of what you include. How close are you paying attention to the person with whom you're communicating, and how much are you how do I say that? Are you giving them everything that they need in order to be able to understand you and in order to be able to receive the message that you're trying to communicate to them? So that's what I mean when I talk about details. So today we're talking about the missed opportunities that sometimes they're mistakes where you know that you know the right answer or you know the right way to do it, but you just don't do it for that moment and it slips your mind, but you usually do it. So sometimes they're mistakes and sometimes they're errors. Sometimes it's stubbornness too. So an error is where you just don't know it's wrong. And so you keep repeating, you do it the way you think is the correct way, and it's not, so there's your error. So this feels a little discombobulated right now, but we'll deal with it. What if you have a mistake? In the first day I gave an example of it's a company who focuses on teaching business English, other professionals who are learning English. So their focus for their company is on presenting yourself in a close to native way in a business environment. And yet, the fifth word in their little advertising blurb was incorrect. The grammar was wrong. They had the right word, but they chose the wrong part of speech. So therefore, immediately, anyone who is wanting to sign up with them, because their website is impeccable, their methodology, the way they explain how they work with you and all of the services that they offer, they're impeccable. But if I didn't look up their website because I was curious about, wait a minute, you're saying one thing, but this is proving you to be, I don't want to say a liar, but sometimes that's what people will say. Well, you just lied to me because you don't know what you're doing. If I hadn't looked up their website and I were a potential student, if I only went on that little blurb and saw that mistake or that error, then I would never buy from them. I would go right on to the next school, someone who could prove to me right off the bat that they knew what they were doing. So when you let mistakes slide, you don't thoroughly check and proofread and edit, and you just think that, again, I come back to the topic of good enough is good enough. It's not good enough because it can cost you clients. It can cost you, this school also talked about how thoroughly they looked at they vetted their professors, their English teachers, their instructors, and all of the qualifications that they had to have in order to teach with them, etc., etc. So, you know, they're saying one thing in their, oh my goodness, on their website. They're saying, and they're proving on their website, that they really are probably an excellent school to go to, but they missed that detail. They didn't proofread it enough, or the person proofreading it didn't know that it was a mistake or an error, in this case an error. And so the first message that people see is that they don't know what they're doing. So that costs you opportunities of potential clients. It costs you the opportunity of potentially hiring an incredible teacher and instructor for your school. It costs you your reputation, because anyone within the field who sees that, like myself, is going to say, really? That's crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. But because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt and say that was just a mistake, I went further and I looked up their website, and I looked into them as the professionals that they say they are. And I found out that they are the professionals that they say they are. But not everybody's going to do that. Not many, most of your peers are not going to look, go research you further. They're going to see that error and they're going to just cancel you out. They're just going to say, well, they don't know what they're doing. I'm not going to think about them again. And so that hurts your reputation. And you've worked so hard to get where you are that you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be written off. You don't deserve to be thought poorly of. You don't deserve to have that imprint of you and what you represent out there if it's incorrect. And so details really do matter. And as I mentioned, a presentation I went to this weekend where the speaker didn't pay attention to the details, even just in the speaking and the way he presented. Like as I said in the previous one, he didn't pay attention to his grammar. He thought, oh, well, I don't need to worry about articles or pronouns, those connecting words that give you tons of information. That's not important. And making sure that I'm speaking clearly and correctly is not important. That cost him, again, it cost him his reputation, and it cost him so many people who really could benefit from what he had to say, because they didn't understand what he had to say. And so if it cost him, if it cost him his audience, it also cost the audience. It made them lose out on everything he had to give them. So it's not just you that's losing or you that's benefiting. It's the people around you who are part of that communication process who lose or benefit when you either skip the details or include them. Really think about this, okay? Again, I could go on. And so this will be a recurring topic because it's so important and I see it everywhere. So you have a great day, but before we leave, sign up for the wait list for my upcoming launch of my English Conversation Fellowship for non-native English-speaking professionals. I've packed everything I possibly can into this fellowship. It's a monthly membership, live conversation about stuff that you care about, where you get to use your English, and I'm here to not only help you learn how to have a conversation in a business setting about business topics with real people, but I'm also here to guide you to answer your questions. So much. So sign up for it. Link is in my bio. I'll put it in the comments, and there's should be a QR code on the post. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.